nation of breathtaking beauty, was home to a vibrant and resilient people. Its stunning landscapes, from pristine beaches to lush mountains, were a source of immense pride. The rhythm of life in the archipelago was often dictated by its tropical climate, which brought both nourishing rains and, at times, devastating typhoons. To protect its citizens from the latter, the government allocated substantial funds for flood control projects. In the quiet offices of government, amidst stacks of project proposals and blueprints, a different kind of transaction began to unfold. A select group of officials, their smiles disarming, met with eager contractors. Handshakes were firm, promises were whispered, and beneath the veneer of public service, a web of deceit began to form. The flood control budget, intended to fortify the nation's defenses, became an irresistible temptation. Initially, the pilfering was subtle, small percentages here and there, barely noticeable in the grand scheme of things. It was a gradual erosion of trust, a slow draining of resources that would eventually have catastrophic consequences. The people, engrossed in their daily lives, remained unaware. As seasons changed, so did the audacity of the corrupt officials and contractors. The initial trickle of stolen funds became a steady stream, then a torrent. Projects were approved on paper but poorly executed, if at all. Dikes remained unrepaired, drainage systems clogged, and early warning systems were neglected. The money, meant for concrete barriers and resilient infrastructure, instead lined the pockets of a greedy few. While communities played in rivers and children splashed in streams, unaware of the impending danger, the wealth accumulated in hidden accounts and lavish lifestyles. The structural integrity of their protection against nature's fury was silently compromised. Then came the rains. What began as a gentle shower soon escalated into a relentless downpour. Rivers swelled, their banks overflowing with a ferocity never before witnessed. In towns and villages, the water began to creep, slowly at first, then rapidly into homes. Panic set in as people scrambled to save what little they had, but it was often too late. The inadequate flood control measures, weakened by years of corruption, stood no chance against the deluge. The water rose higher and higher, swallowing houses, cars, and entire communities. The cheerful splashing of children in streams was replaced by desperate cries for help. The Philippines was engulfed in a watery nightmare. Homes were submerged, their roofs barely visible above the murky expanse. Entire districts became impassable, isolating communities and cutting off vital aid. The death toll mounted, each statistic a heart-wrenching loss, a life needlessly extinguished. The smiling faces of the officials, once a symbol of trust, were now overshadowed by the profound grief and anger of a nation. The very money meant to protect them had become their undoing, a silent weapon wielded by those in power. In the aftermath, the full extent of the corruption was laid bare, a tragic testament to the devastating consequences of greed.